So I'm just putting it out there in front of you.
I don't remember being asked the question, but I don't think the town could come in the village and do anything
On their parking lots?
correct. Not any more than they can come in on our parking lot, or we could go to their parking lot.
Unless there were an IMA.
Well, the question
is there a big problem Joel, is there a big problem I'm not aware of about?
They were just saying that they had to contract out, they couldn't turn to the municipalities and use village and/or town workers and/or equipment, and therefore it was going to cost more.
I wonder if with a fire department, if, they would probably need to be the first places that need to be plowing. Is that maybe because the village, when we go out plowing, there's certain key areas that we've been taking care of, like getting to the hospital and stuff like that, if that was the reason? I don't know, it's an interesting question.
Yeah, I don't know, Kyle. At this point, I'm basically asking the question so it can be responded to. If the village is willing to sit down and have a discussion about an IMA, that can certainly be taken back to the board.
Okay, but the couching of the question concerns me. I would love to know the answers to the questions we're raising now before I committed to anything. I don't know what you're asking me to commit to.
I'm not asking you to commit to anything.
But I certainly would be in favor of finding out what the question is here, so that we can look to evaluate what kind of a response we can give. I mean, let's find out what the question is.
It's strictly a matter
of... And we'll report back to you and find out.
In these difficult times, it's just a question of trying to save money wherever it can be saved.
I understand.
I'm certainly willing to discuss it.
Yeah, well, the Board of Fire Commissions come to us and ask us, we'll definitely sit down.
But first, I'd like to be clear, even before we get to that point, I'd like to be clear about what the issue is.
Well, that's what I mean, when
before we even get
they
that
come in with a
far.
request, and then we know what the issue is.
Well, I guess I don't think there's an IMA with the town, because the town doesn't have anything.
Doesn't have anything to do
No,
with
but the town does provide fuel at a fee to the fire department. But there's no IMA as far as they reported the other night.
But it's a separate taxing entity. Why would there be an IMA? I don't understand that, which is why, rather than give you a yes or no, I'd like to find out the information we need, and then I'd be delighted to respond.
Well, I know for a fact right now what they're doing is they're contracting out to private individuals to do the snow removal.
Right, that's what they said.
Landscaping, and if there's
I mean, I don't represent it here, but I represent fire districts in other areas of the county. That's typically what's done.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, we have bids, and we hire somebody to mow the lawn, and the one chairman's son was doing it, so we couldn't do that anymore, but that's the clients remain unnamed. But with snow plowing, maintenance, it was always bid out to private contractors.
As I say, it wasn't a point I raised, somebody else raised it as a possible way that monies could be perhaps reduced. And as I brought it to the town, I'm bringing it here, and perhaps there can be discussions. I mean, I haven't heard any response that says, no, we don't want it.
No, of course not, but I'd like to get some information.
Two quick other points, perhaps.
Sure.
I missed it at coming in late. Where do we stand on the removal of the waste pile? And where do we stand on the community block development grant?
Well, DEC letter. Sure. Joel, bear with me a second. I'm going to find you a letter we got from DEC. Okay. But if you want to do the community block grant one first, then I'll find
With the dirt pile Cornerstone submitted their report to the DEC. The DEC received their report. In addition to that, they sent us communication that we read tonight saying that the pile can now be qualified as municipal solid waste. So right now, they have the report, and we're moving forward, working on with them.
Says that it's not hazardous material.
Yeah, Joel, this is the quote from DEC's December 18th letter, okay? September, excuse me. I'm looking at the future. Department, referring to DEC, department staff concur with this determination. The determination of Cornerstone was that it was non-hazardous material, okay? And the department staff concurs with this determination. Therefore, the waste may be considered non-hazardous without the need for additional testing. I think that's directly from Stephen Peruzzo.
Right.
Okay? So now we just got to figure out where we're moving.
And what is the next step with regard to removal? Where do we stand with removal?
Looking for sites. Ideally, we would find some landfill that's, has to close, and they're looking for some kind of cover material, because that's what this would be ideal for. So it's just about finding a site that is in reasonable proximity, so we don't have to truck it too far, because the cost is going to be related to the distance, all that. So finding a site that is looking for something like this. And there are certain, sites out there that, might be forced to close maybe, this next year, but it's all contingent on when for that. So just about finding a good location.
Has the DEC given the village a deadline?
We haven't gotten to that step yet.
Are they going to allow the village to just contemplate this open-endedly? Or
Again, they have their report, so we haven't reached, I don't know, they could.
It'll be premature to say that. We'll be meeting with the DEC within the next month, 6 weeks, and the process is ongoing, but it's, I don't think you can understate the significance of the fact that it's non-hazardous. I mean, that's a real...
Big.
Absolutely, but the idea that it will stay there indefinitely is not the case either. But there's a process that we have to go through. We'll meet with the DEC and we'll go through that process and we'll try to find a way to dispose of the material in the manner that's most beneficial to the taxpayers.
And just lastly, a real minor point, Marcia, you indicated that we were relying on the water from CRV. Is that because of the work that's being done on the flocculators?
Yes.
Has nothing to do with supply
No,
adequacy?
not at all. No, we have plenty of water. No, in order to fix that, we had to, and we have not been able to in past years because we didn't. It worked out very well, and there was a lot of nail biting, but it worked out well.
And Joel, your other issue about the community development grants, just for art, but there was engineering work that had to be done, which I believe has been done.
Right. And we're ongoing with the engineering design, and the mayor wrote a letter to community development regarding the grant, saying that we're in the process of doing those engineering designs.
Are we within all applicable timetables?
Yes,
Deadlines?
Yes.
Excellent.
yes, I'm sorry.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Yes.
Ronald Andrews, what's the status of the police contract?
Right, to the extent that I can say, because, it's a personnel issue at the moment, I think we are very close. And once I have something to present to the mayor for signature, everyone will know. So we are basically clearing the last hurdle. That's the way I can put it. Maybe a sports analogy, if you will.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.